We'll call this meeting to order at 7:01, which is pretty good for us, I think. We have quorum, I believe, right? We have Sean, so we're good. Mr. Picco, as we like to say, business. If we all stand, do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could all stay standing for a moment of silence. We've had 39 people in the fire/forestry fire service pass away year to date. So we just take a moment there. Thank you. Approval of the minutes from last month.
May, I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'll start with my report. It'll just be brief because we have a lot of people here and I want to make sure we get to whatever we need to get to. This is our high season. We started that off last month. Like we actually making it through some of the Fairfield U stuff at the end of the year starts our high season. But thank God for rain. The last few days, I was waiting for the chief to say that we had to start like minding outdoor grills and stuff, which I think if we get to that, we on the commission understand how important that is and how dangerous the merit can be in just different spots. I reiterate once again to the deputy chiefs in the room. I think you guys did a fantastic job last year of communicating all that through social media, where it became a discussion online, which I think our populace needs more of, right? Like to get that stuff out there. And maybe we'd even say like to even start doing it now to say like we've had rain, but we could be going through a dry season again and know that could affect Fairfield residents love their social gatherings, right? So the more we get messaging out there to let them know that maybe we'd ask for their partnership. We know in this room how much that helps prevent fires and dangerous situations. So I always kind of say this is our busy season when the weather gets dry. But so far so good it seems like. And thank God for the rain the last few days.
If I could just add to that.
Yeah, please do.
We may be the ones that actually hit send on the social media, but our public information officers, Lieutenant Smith here, our fire marshal, John Cronin, they're doing that work and they deserve that, their recognition is important, that the work that they do, is important.
And we appreciate it. But last summer was
Recognize
very
that.
effective. We thought in the room when we discussed it and just the community feedback we were getting was terrific, right? Just that anything like that we can get ahead of it. I think this is a population that likes to be communicated to and like we're never gonna make everybody happy, like, right? Just spend any time on moms or dads at Fairfield and you'll see like the most well-to-do people are not the happiest people. So it is what it is. But I think from our standpoint, communicating like you have been is terrific, right? So we applaud that effort. That's all I had to kind of get us going. Well, I think Chief Dunn's on, our acting Chief Dunn is on the line, so you could take it away.
Hello, good evening. I'm on vacation, so I'm coming from afar. I do want to say thank you to my deputies for carrying on while I'm away. We've most recently been finishing up with our fiscal year, and there's a lot of things that we have to do for that, so they've been very helpful. We've also been trying to get bids which are necessary through purchasing. So we've been working with purchasing department for some of our larger bids like gallons a night for the fire apparatus repair and for our emotional examinations. So that's going along. I'd like to, if I could, then I'd like to have my Deputy Chief Case introduce an award. Otherwise, I apologize. I would love to be there to award this in person. I know that the three young ladies are not in attendance physically, but they're online, I believe. So, Chief Case, could you take over and in my stead give this award to three deserving Good Samaritans?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief. These three Good Samaritans are being recognized for their life-saving efforts. And I'm going to read through the narrative of the incident. Lieutenant Smith was the incident commander, and he was the one who nominated these people. The incident occurred at 1663 Stratfield Road. At 1858 hours, the Fairfield County Regional Dispatch Center received a call for medical assistance for a male patient on the side of the road having a seizure. Engine 3 was immediately dispatched and arrived on scene at 1904 hours to find the patient positioned on his side with significant facial trauma. The patient was being attended to by a number of Good Samaritans. The Samaritans stated they were driving by and saw that the patient began to seize and fall to the ground. They immediately stopped their vehicle on the side of the road and exited to begin rendering aid, placing him on his side to preserve an open airway. They protected the patient from self-harm and further injury while he continued to seize. Engine 3 personnel assumed patient care upon arrival until American Medical Response arrived on the scene. Engine 3 and AMR quickly assessed the patient on scene and readied him for immediate transport to the hospital. Lieutenant Robert Smith, the incident commander for the incident, directly credits the quick actions of the Samaritans for contributing to a positive outcome for the patient. From the incident report, I quote, "The quick action of the three ladies that stopped to render aid had a direct impact on this critical medical emergency. Had they passed by, as so many others did, and did not help secure the patient's airway, the outcome of this incident could have been very different," end quote. For their action on April 26, 2026, the Fairfield Fire Department recognizes Ava Flynn, Annie Bratashi, and I apologize if I did not say that correctly, and Victoria Constantine with the fire chief's letter of recognition. I don't know if you can see what I'm holding up, but we do have these certificates for you, and they will be presented to you at a later date.
Thank
Sorry?
you guys so much.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate you having us here, and we were just happy we could help. We know you guys do this every day, so we were happy to help and pitch in and help someone when we could. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wow,
And thank you,
terrific.
Victoria.
Is Victoria there? Here?
I see her online there.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hey, Victoria.
Congratulations to you too.
Thank you.
And that concludes the award.
That's terrific. Wow.
That's wonderful.
That's
Wow.
awesome. Great job, everybody. That's amazing. Is that the chief's report?
That's if he has anything else, it's just he asked me to do that piece.
No, that is the conclusion of my report, unless anyone
Great.
has any questions. I'd like to-
Any questions for the chief?
I think we're gone.
So if the chief, any questions to the chief from the panel? All right, deputy chiefs.
Did you guys approve the minutes from last month yet?
We did. What up? Do you have any?
1426 was under the impression, we see human resources here with the first select woman, that would be happening next month. President Tunnell expressed that he would.
Don't have Hogs meetings, so.
I know there was a discussion about it last month.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That he said he wasn't gonna be here for this month.
Also executive session, since it's in regards to things that could be disciplinary, local 1426 is asserting our belief that we should be in executive session.
Oh, yeah, anything we discussed, of course, yeah,
Of course.
yeah. Thank you.
That's being that this is something that's under litigation. Legal counsel has advised us that we can report to the commissioners, but it's not something that we should be discussing together.
Okay.
And that's sent over for the
We're
reason,
not,
for the reason to go into executive session.
Commissioner Burke?
First Selectwoman's right. I mean, as far as the union's concerned, we're not planning on taking any disciplinary action. We wanted to hear the response to the allegations that the union president made during the June meeting, July?
It was a meeting, it was a meeting I wasn't here. It was May.
Last month's meeting.
It was in Boston. No, it was May.
May.
And then
Yeah.
we asked for June, but it was too quick of a time frame. So then we all decided on July, and I'm sorry, it was a misunderstanding.
No, it's fine. I appreciate them having their time to come here, and that's fine as far as I'm concerned.
Because we're not, the plan is, we usually don't meet in July either, but
Okay.
we wanted to get another meeting in based on a lot of stuff going on and different stuff bubbling up.
Yeah, no,
We wanna
I appreciate your
be-
time. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers or anything, but that's all I had. Sorry for the delay.
No, thank you. Any other questions or comments in that arena? Okay, Deputy Chiefs?
Chief, you're concluded?
Yes, he's good.
Personnel wise, we are still in the process of moving our 5 potential firefighters through the approval process. So they have to go through medical background, they have to go through a background check. We're still,
That's for the ones we interviewed, we want to hire.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we were able to
Our babies.
offer 5.
Our babies.
Yeah,
Out of our people that we interview and we put into the fire department.
I just wanted to report that that process is ongoing and it's as it should be.
You made offers to 5 of,
There's been conditional job offers made to 5 individuals. All 5 accepted the conditional job offers and now they're going through
They
the,
were the top 5 on the list?
correct. They're going through the evaluation process.
Commissioner Klingler, she said they were phenomenal. She stepped up big time and did the work of 2 people being in that room. And we're very, we're very proud and happy that she's able to step in. I couldn't get out of work, so she stepped up. She was like, she called me right away and said,
It was a great experience, I'm sure.
that's the most, if any of you can do it again, I recommend doing it. To sit in the room and to take part in that is invaluable. So I love doing it.
In addition to that, in the budget process, we're still closing out some 2026 items, and we've started on 2027. So that is going as it should go. No hiccups. And that is the conclusion of what I have for you tonight.
You're funded for the additional 5 firefighters in the 27 budget?
Yes.
I'm not sure they're additional, are they?
Additional, just full staff,
Yeah, I mean,
full staff.
yeah,
They have been filled by overtime.
yeah, no, I get it, yeah.
As far as for operationals and buildings and grounds, I told you last month, we had our busiest month. Well, we beat that this month. We're at 926 responses this month. So that's up about another 70 from last month. 2 building fires, 1 commercial building exterior fire burnt the entranceway down and some of the siding. Another one was a trash can extended to the exterior of a garage. Quick knockdown by crews that arrived. We had a couple of vehicle fires. One of the interesting things about that was happened to be with the police chief and we were able to use the first responder drone for that. So that drone was on scene before companies arrived, was able to see what it was, where it was. It was pretty interesting to see that technology in play. Although that's in its infancy for us, it was pretty cool to see it come right over 95 and okay, there it is. We could see where it was. So
Could we see that working in like structure fires and stuff?
that's the plan, the eventual plan. There's a lot of technology. Technology has to be ironed out, but think about when that goes up, it's at a height of 300 feet. So it sees things in the distance that we would not see. in a-
Especially with these larger buildings that we're anticipating.
It was pretty cool to see it, and the link goes right to your phone, and you can see it, and it's very fast for us. So it was pretty intense to see that.
Excuse me, was that used at the Lake Mohegan incident? The hiker and the Cascades,
Use it through the trees.
over the trees.
Yeah, it sees trees.
Save trees.
It sees trees.
In the fall, maybe you could.
The problem with that in the Delta 2, which is coming off of Station 2, it's a little far for that. Delta 3 is not up yet.
Yeah.
So that the program's working. It's
Yeah.
a lot of
Okay.
when it's done and it's all done, it would probably work.
And I don't know if you wanted to elaborate on that one, because that was a pretty labor intensive.
Yeah, they had a gentleman that a large gentleman that had broken his ankle in the woods, and unfortunately, his other leg was a prosthetic leg.
Oh, my God.
So he was really trapped, and crews were once they found him, they had to get our gator to get in there to find him to transport him out of there. So it was a very labor intensive. It's a lot of work to do something like that. What seems like should be very simple is a lot of work, but that's hats off to them for doing that work. We had our fireworks event, which went off without a hitch, which was good. There was some weather that was coming in, so we had to make some last minute decisions but fortunately went off without a hitch, and it was great planning. The whole team did a good job. Our apparatus division is working hard to keep everything running. We got our towers back in service just yesterday. The rear end, if you remember, the rear end needed to be rebuilt in that, so that's done. And our Quint went back in service yesterday as well, so we're back up to 3 aerial devices back in town. Operations, we had a couple of major storm events happen. The 4th of July, if you remember, was pretty quick. Hats off to our Fairfield County Regional Dispatch. They took 300 calls for service in 2 hours. So a lot of people call 911 for them. In that time period, we responded to, I think, just about 39 calls for service with our trucks.
Was it heat or was it for?
Storm, wires, trees, everything. It was
I lost power. I mean, it was.
I was out of power for almost a day, a little over almost just shy of a day. So people were going. Our people on the trucks were responding all over town and jumping all over everything. So wires down everywhere, trees down. So there was a lot of stuff going on. There was also a 7.7 storm, which was predicted to be a very, very dangerous storm, which didn't actually amount to as much as they said it was, but we had some very high level discussions in town. An emergency management side was predicted to be almost 15 inches of rain was what was expected to come. It didn't pan out to be that. We had all of our emergency management team together to look at that. Fortunately, that didn't turn into what they thought it was, but that was the next outcome. That was that long day of rain. So we're very fortunate for that. I did want to point out one call that we did have, and this talks about to some of the things that we do every day that you don't actually recognize until something like this happens. Engine 2 went to a call for a reported carbon monoxide incident. Lieutenant Salvato responded there, and it was one of those heavy days. It was the 4th of July where we had a heavy barometric day, and they had a whole house generator that was running. He took his meter off and he started to work the house a little bit, and he said, geez, I've got some carbon monoxide here. Ended up finding some dangerous levels of carbon monoxide, evacuated the house. Had he not chased what he was looking at, using his hazardous material skills and his knowledge, his intuition, he found very high levels of carbon monoxide in his house. Would have killed the residents overnight had he not continued to chase this. And he ended up saving some lives that day.
Oh, God bless him. Was the generator in the house or was
No, it was an outside generator, but because of the barometric pressure, it kept the exhaust fumes down and actually worked it into the house. So gas company came out and ended up tagging the generator out, and they're gonna have to look at how it was installed and stuff like that. But
It was a permanent generator.
generator. But those are some things that our people do that, with their training and their expertise, they notice things like that. So hats off to him and his crew for finding that. As far as buildings and grounds, went with the capital projects group the other day. We were able to get the funding approved through the Board of Selectmen. Thank you for Station 1 bathrooms.
Great.
Our next hurdle will be the Board of Finance.
Usable by the fire commissioners if we're downtown and gotta go?
Yes, yeah, there'll be a specific one for you guys that we can use, but that's a much needed project, and we thank the the first select person for helping us through that process and getting us the much needed funds for that.
When are you meeting with the Board of Finance?
That will be
Next week, we're having a special meeting next week, Thursday.
13th? Okay. So the 14th, or it's like 16th.
16th.
As best we can in the conscious of budget, like communicate with, I know you do, but like where would be the most need for upgrading of the different facilities that have capacity where like if any women need a bathroom type of thing, right? So
So the capital projects group looks at all of our facilities globally. We've worked with them and we've talked with them about how we need to upgrade all of the facilities. And we've worked with the first select person's office and come up with a 10-year plan as to how to do everything. It's all in the waterfall. And they're gonna present a larger plan. I believe it's in October. Is that what they're?
The Capital Waterfall Summit's in September.
September, yes.
A 2-day process this year because per the new charter revision.
You're welcome.
The Board of Finance needs to approve a capital plan for the
Excellent.
fiscal year. It'll be a 10-year plan. We'll be presenting.
I think collectively, and I'll say it if you disagree with me, we really know that the fire facilities need improvements, right? Just say that, not looking for reaction, just know that, well, unless anybody disagrees with me. Right? Like, we really feel that, like, I mean, I've been on the commission now for almost 5 years, Joe for longer.
Much.
And it's always been something that the can gets kicked down the road and
it's, you know, I see it in other town facilities too. It's, for some reason, we are reactive and not proactive. And the reactive stuff turns around and bites us sometimes because what could have been a $500,000 project is now $1 million project because we kicked it down the road.
And first, we understand this isn't meant to be like, oh yeah, it's just, we want to voice that because we understand that there's a lot of things in town that need money committed to it. We understand that, so we're not, but we just want to let you know that collectively, we think that our fire department, like, it's getting to that critical area to Commissioner Alzaki's point that if things aren't done sooner rather than later, like, you're gonna see things crumbling.
We have put money as a town to assess every fire department. And I want to thank the chiefs for taking, elected officials on tours to all of the stations so they could see firsthand the need.
Believe me, she's been very open and she is helping us as much as she can. There's no doubt about that.
We know, and we know that. That's why it's not like calling out. It's just more of a, if we could, from our position, just put a brighter light on it to just say that let's keep going if we can, knowing that there's money needs to go to a lot of different spots in this town.
There's a plan and we're moving forward, which is good. Station 3, there's some tree work that we have to perform, and Station 5, septic system's done, parking lot's paved, curbs are in, topsoil went down today, they'll be planting grass tomorrow. So that's all done too.
So that's the facility we can use if we're up in the
You
hill.
can use that one. Use that one today.
Yeah, right.
We're up in the hill.
And I sent out an email today. It's projects like that sneak up on you that you just don't know about. And when something fails, somehow the DPW and works with the town bodies and they find a way to get it done. And you can't say enough about the DPW in this town and in those project groups and how they get things done for us. And that's, James Ryan and Frank and those guys, they get it done for us. So appreciate it. That's it for me.
Any questions for the deputy chiefs?
If I could go back on one thing, I'm remiss we do have a personnel change that I neglected to report on. Our administrative assistant, Christina Caballera's last day with us is tomorrow. She's not leaving employment with the town, but a position that had opened up in the finance department, and Christina has applied for that job and she got it. She's going to be going to finance. So she was with us for 6 months or so. And she was very helpful, very educational as far as our Munis systems, the financial end of how our town works. However, with her leaving, we're going to be looking for another person to replace that, her position. So that kind of falls on Jen Farr here as the office coordinator. But I wanted to make aware that she is leaving our department. We're grateful for her time there, and we're going to be looking for a replacement to try to fill her shoes.
Looking for recommendations.
Is that a full-time or a part-time position?
That's
That's a full-
gonna stay longer than.
Yeah, we also have a part-time position that we're going through the process of trying to fill.
Yeah.
But they're very different as far as what the expectations are for their work.
It's hard to train and then they leave and then I'm still back to being alone and then having to train again.
I'll call you tomorrow. Seriously, I know a lady that just got laid on and she'd be amazing, absolutely amazing.
It's gotta go through the union.
Yeah.
First step.
Stranger things have happened. Yeah, we're gonna thank you in advance for this work you do, so.
She's got a lot.
And if you need help from the fire commission to make sure admin stuff gets done, just
Thank you.
no meeting in August, so. All right, I actually have a question, and not, the big one, like a month or so ago, was the fishing, well, not the fishing pier, the embankment that goes out, yeah, the reef. Yeah, that was, have we like talked to the town more about, I know there's signage there, but just making something that's more aware, because that seems to be something that popped up. You guys did like all the town emergency services did a terrific job. There was a Good Samaritan there that day too, that they mentioned. I would love for that person to be produced, and we give that person, because it sounds like the person that eventually saved was that because that person was there.
That's Iron Man. That guy did an amazing job.
Did he?
He held on to that person for 20 minutes.
God bless him.
Yeah, he made a difference. I know, I'm pretty sure we're gonna work with the police department to do something for him.
Good, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Chief, thank you.
as far as doing something, as far as I believe that would fall to the marina.
Okay,
You know, the waterfront commission would do that. And
Okay.
they do have signage out.
I know they do.
It's a very, very popular fishing site. There's a website for it. A lot of people come from out of state to go there. It's that popular.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking a little bit out of the box type thing, and you said it's very popular. You know, I grew up down on the beach, so. But maybe we can do some sort of, not necessarily a press release, but some sort of flyer type thing and get it into the local bait and tackle shops and stuff. Just information about Penfield Reef. Because, you know, people are going in these places and buying stuff. Granted, you know, like if they're coming from New York and stuff, then, but, you know, if we can just get information out to the bait and tackle places of the dangers of Penfield Reef, you know.
Maybe we could write the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Take a.
I mean, we're talking about it, there's sirens, lights, a QR code just for people that can scan just to even know what the tide chart is for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, there is signage there in both Spanish and
It's
in
in, yeah,
English.
multiple.
All right, you know, there's great discussions around it, I'm sure, like, it's not really under our, but we didn't want something like that to happen where the fire department's wild, but not us saying like, hey, anything we can do to help or give guidance on, but it sounds like you guys have things in flight, so.
You
Okay,
know, my concern is, yes, somebody's gonna drown, but we're putting our guys in jeopardy. You know, for somebody who's making, I don't wanna say a stupid mistake, but for somebody who is unaware of the situation. That somehow if we can educate them and make them aware, we'd be okay.
which I think we've done at Lake Mohegan. I live in the other lake.
Signage there now.
Every few years, like somebody at Lake Mohegan up until a few years ago was when that's why I broke an ankle. Like that's all we do at Lake Mohegan, right? So, but it seems like in the last number of years that's calmed down, where people are a lot more educated about not jumping in the water there. Yeah.
You know, I mean, and this is a little different and stuff, but back in my younger years.
Last week.
What's that?
Last week.
Yeah. Yeah, back when we had hammer and chisel to write things, but like when we do a lot of hiking, we did the Grand Canyon. And the signs over there were blunt. If you are not carrying this amount of water, you will die. You know, and yeah, that's what happened to people. So, you know, as much as we want to be friendly and everything, you know, we got to make a point that you go out there and the tide's coming in. there's a good chance you're gonna die. You know?
Sounds like there's stuff in flight, which is important. So that's, you know, so we appreciate that. Any other questions for the deputy chiefs? Sir, do we have Norma out there? Let's see her. There's nothing going on right now. How about Southport Volunteer Fire Department? Stratfield Volunteer Fire Department? Going once, going twice.
It's an open.
Local 1426.
So I apologize for not introducing myself. I know you guys are used to seeing Bill Tuttle's bald head. I'm Mark Smoot. I'm the vice president of 1426. Just a handful of things. Grievances are still piling up. This year we have 32 since January 1. The payroll issue that's been discussed with you guys a handful of times continues. We recently had a handful of our members reach their next step in payroll. That was done incorrectly. We have a acting lieutenant whose pay has been.
So Mark, so that's like somebody got a promotion, they were a step up.
The step being they completed a year of service.
Okay.
So they the next step.
Got it.
Again, it's a failure on many levels. I know the chiefs are doing all that they can. They're working with finance. Finance is working very hard on it. We're understanding of that. Our payroll has had issues for years. It's not something that our members shouldn't have to look at their paycheck every week and make sure that they're being paid the correct amount. And that's where we're at. We've told our members probably half a dozen times that you have to do that. We have members that have done templates on Excel that we've given to the Board of Finance, we've given to the chiefs. It's as simple as you plug in your time of service, your pay rate, everything tells you what you should be paid. The fact that it's not corrected is disheartening. I know it's a software thing. I know there's a lot of cogs in the chain, and we're very understanding of that, but this is a years-long problem of something that should have been done.
Let's pull up there a little bit. So this is something that before I was made the chairman, we dealt with. I think it was in the late summer, early fall of last year, where Assistant Chief Caliper was here representing the union and talked about it with some passion, but said like, hey, we're working closely with the town to get it going. And then Lieutenant Tuttle came back and said, we think we're in a good spot.
Right.
So I'm going from memory there, but I think like that was a time frame.
Yeah.
So we're disheartened, right?
And again, the explanation of it is it seems to be a very complicated process between Munis and Paycom and pay codes and everything. And we're absolutely understanding of that. And that's fine, but this has been and again, we were in a good spot and our pay is still incorrect.
Yeah, so is it a software thing, or like, I mean, to the chiefs, or is it where does the problem lie? Basically, is it
Most of the inconsistencies or payroll errors occur when anniversary dates happen.
okay?
The systems are supposed to give alert that someone's approaching an anniversary date or at an anniversary date. And they don't always work correctly. So, you know, we try on the fire department, and we're in communication with our finance people daily. For a bunch of different things, but we'll try to let them know, hey, you know, there's this group of 6 that came on at this particular time. They're coming up for an anniversary date, and you know, we'll try to get that all through. Our payroll system has no less than 28 codes, depending on what type of overtime, what time of leave a person is on, and all of them have to be brought over correctly for the finance piece to do its part. So that, to Mark's point,
Is it primary just the steps, or is overtime getting done too?
Well, it depends. So sometimes our people who are compensated at a higher rate because they're day staff. Some of those codes don't always come across, so their higher percentage might not be there. We've worked very hard to correct all of those. Our finance people have worked very hard to correct all those. Our human resources people have worked very hard to correct all those. Some of those still show up. So I don't want.
Has there been talk with the software companies, the people that are writing this stuff?
Yeah, I can't speak for that. I can only speak to, to what we do. I can't speak to what finance does. I can't speak to what human resources does, but there is a constant communication trying to get these things correct.
Because it seems like the problem is with the software is where things are getting mixed up between one system talking to another system. And that seems to be where the problem is. And we pay these companies a lot of money for payroll software. And, they should be a little more receptive to situations. Especially when the contract ends.
Are we seeing this issue with any other departments in Fairfield? Since we've.
I think you're looking at me. I'm happy to speak about what I know. I don't do the payroll, but I am very much aware of the payroll issues. Around the end of September or end of August, beginning of September, I believe, Jude Fitzgerald, who used to work in finance and is now working in HR, and we are very happy to have her finance background with us, worked very closely with the union, who did she work with? It was it Peter Ayub?
Brian Mady.
And Brian. So from my understanding, the regular pay, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong because you see it firsthand. So the regular pay is coded and we have no issues there for the most part. We had a little glitch with 42 hours going to 40, which nobody knows why that happened in Munis. We don't know. But the regular hourly rate is set. And that may go up if there's a step movement. If there's a step movement and nobody has had a change in their date of hire, i.e. a promotion to a different rank, then the Paycom system notifies us in HR. And we automatically, I have cheat sheets for every union contract about what happens when you hit 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, because many things can happen. Not only a step increase, but increased vacation time, increased sick time, longevity payments. So so those things are programmed and Paycom notifies us, which is a great tool for us to have. I think what's been happening is the overtime rate is very much dependent on factors that may change at any given time. So the overtime rate brings in things like education. Where you are, you get certain amount added to your pay. So the hourly rate for the overtime rates, and we have 28 codes for overtime, is constantly changing. Part of it is we rely on communication from the department because we don't know if somebody has a change in any of those factors because we're not here at the department, right? So if somebody increases their education, that stipend to their hourly rate changes. And Roger is usually very good about communicating, and Jen communicates when there are status changes. So whether it's a change in rank for a promotion or a change in something that affects the overtime rate. No system is perfect. So sometimes things fall through the cracks. I think we've all worked very hard and continue to work very hard because it's important for HR, especially for me, because I don't want to hear grievances about pay that isn't correct. So we've all worked with the union as well, very hard to kind of get to where we need to be. But there will be things that fall through the cracks, especially because we're relying on humans to remember to, Roger's got a lot going on. So if he doesn't remember to let us know that Justin received a promotion, no, he didn't receive a promotion. So in terms of the step movement, once somebody receives a promotion, their date for step movement changes. So it's not their original date of hire, it is now their promotional date. We've been working with Paycom to get the system program to notify us when those happen, but we rely on the department to tell us when that happens. So there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of people involved in the pay. And I think the recent pay issues, we've pretty much resolved immediately, either at the department level in conjunction with finance and HR. So that's my perspective from the town side, from the HR side.
So as somebody who I think everybody equally adores and loves in this room, right, I would say this is the third time we've heard about it since, I'm gonna say September, maybe October.
Yeah.
And last month was, if you got the cartoon with the steam coming out of the ears, that's how we heard it from the union last month, because I don't wanna have Mark so like, as like kind of the arbiters, the people who try and really keep the fire department and I would say, my recommendation was put some strong eyes on this again and double check the work, dot the i's, cross the t's, and sorry, chiefs, if I get me to like, somebody needs to walk over and say, this person's up a step. Let's do that, because these guys are not happy about it.
Yeah. So the other.
The step increases, it seems to be.
You weren't here for Tuttle last month?
I got it from.
Oh, you did, so we got it from them, right? So like, I wanna just say like, from our group, like, we always feel like if we exist, we can kind of say like, hey, this is like the pot's at 180 degrees, it's not at 212. Let's pull it back so it never gets there, and this is what we would our advice would be, I would say, we're in a good place with the amount of work, but we're not a good place where they're getting paid efficiently.
So we have met with Roger Case and Chief Dunn, I think last week, was that last week that we met? Because of all of this, to help iron out where the pitfalls are happening and how we can avoid that as much as we can going forward. We're very unhappy when people are not paid properly.
Of course, yeah.
The other great thing that Paycom does is on Tuesdays, we get an approve my check email. So everybody can look at their check, and if they see that something is amiss, they can notify us before payroll runs.
That goes to the employees.
Yes, every employee gets that, yeah. So that's another, so what we're looking to do is kind of set up fail safes and backup systems, right?
Great.
So we get notified pretty regularly on Paycom, but like I said, we're notified on the date of hire, right? So if the promotional date is different, we're not necessarily, sometimes we do get those for whatever reason, sometimes we don't. And so we rely on the department as our backup, say, hey, these people had a promotion, they're hitting their 5-year mark in their promotion or whatever it is. And that's kind of our backup. And then the third backup is the employee, right? So they have some responsibility and they have the ability to look at what their check is going to be before we run payroll. So there's three backups.
So I would say, like, I've never been a young firefighter, but I've been a young Marine, and I would not have known anything. All I knew was like what my taxes were, my SGLI, right?
So yes.
So I would say like that group of people are never gonna come to you like with that, because they're not gonna know. Are we educating them, educate them about like what your paycheck should look like, what going where?
The union is really good at doing that.
We
They have a, yeah.
That's a collaborative effort.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, that's not necessarily something that the union should have to do. But we're very welcoming and assistful of the new employees. And again, the step increases that were an issue are either mostly resolved or totally resolved. But the acting lieutenant whose pay has been wrong for 2 months, his pay was wrong again today.
Okay.
So, and again, we understand the codes and the cogs in the machine and the software, talking to each other, that's all well and good. But when someone is receiving incorrect pay for several months, it starts to become an issue where we get agitated.
Sure.
And that's, again, we're understanding.
Well, let's pull on that string a little bit. So why is this lieutenant at his pay, his or her pay?
So it's an acting position. There's a lieutenant who's out on injury. So a firefighter is acting as a lieutenant, is due to be paid at that level.
Right.
I imagine that's one of 28 plus codes.
I haven't been informed of that.
Yeah, we haven't either.
Okay. It's.
Can you let us know? Can you?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Yeah.
you're referring to.
yeah, that would be good. Let them know. And I think, like, listen, we're not meeting next month. I hope that you can come back. You guys don't have to come back. Thank you for being here tonight. But like, if you guys could come back, and we felt really good last fall after all the work that you're confirming all the work that Assistant Chief Caliper said it was done. And then it kind of blew up like last month. We're like, wait, we're going back to this, right? So we would feel much better knowing maybe in September if you or Lieutenant Tunnel could come to us and give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, or like men's amends. Any other discussions on payroll? Because this is one like this, like, listen, anybody, there's no bad person in this room. Like, we all want our people to get paid, right? And nobody's like nefariously trying to keep firefighters from getting paid. So the more we collaborate, the better we all are. And so I'm glad that that's happening.
And I think what helps is it being said in a public forum that everybody knows that people are working on this.
Yes.
There's an issue. Again, it seems to be a software issue, not somebody being malicious doing something. You know, it's just trying to get everything. But I can see where like that one, the acting position, you know, that's probably going to be a whole new code. You know,
Actually, I think that's what.
I mean.
I'd like to clarify a little bit, because I don't know if there's a bit of a misconception or a misunderstanding of it. People's entire paycheck is not incorrect.
Right.
It's like one overtime shift of that certain code.
Right. I'm missing 2 hours here or an hour there.
No, it's the rate.
The rate of my overtime is the old rate.
So even though we do inform that there's been a promotion or there's been an acting position, when those codes go through the system and the code for vacation leave overtime doesn't pay correctly, it wasn't because it was not a notification issue. It's because that code didn't apply to that person correctly. And that's what we really are in the nitty gritty trying to identify how that drops out. Because it was on those people before. They certainly worked vacation leave overtime prior to a change in of their rank status. So that's what we're looking for at a granular level to try to understand how that it drops off.
And again, the software people are working with you, or are you on your own just looking at this?
I can't.
It seems like they're working
It's
hard
our
on it.
programming.
It seems like from
It's-
last month to
so
now, a
that-
lot of work's been done.
That particular issue has to do with what they call position control. So there's positions for every position that are programmed. And if there was a previous acting person or lieutenant or whatever rank, and that's an empty position, if that previous lieutenant didn't have certain codes attached to it, if I put somebody new in who should have those codes, and the codes aren't programmed in that position, that's what's causing. So we've looked at setting up acting positions that remain vacant in the system, so that when somebody's acting up, the appropriate codes will already be programmed there. So we've done a lot of discussion about why this is happening.
And programming.
Yes.
Thank you very much, because this has been very
Yep.
informative, because, you know, for years, we get one side. Nothing against you guys, but we get one side.
Well, they're the experts at firefighting, right? We hope to be the experts at HR as much as we can. We certainly attempt to do that.
Thank you.
And then aside from the payroll, just to put it on the record, Local 1426 is going to oppose the executive session with the MPP and grievances listed. We believe that it's a discussion of one of our members. They are not present. Just to put that on the record. In regards to the MPP and grievances that are listed, that is the harassment of one of our members that continues. The MPP that's listed, there was a hearing, there was a resolution that came out of it to have our training director, the assistant chief of training, create a program that would have then been approved by our member's doctor to have her return to work and do a work hardening program at the fire school. That was completed and vehemently denied by the town. So it's the locals' position. We continue to meet the standards and reach the goalposts that are set by the town. And they continue to move the goalposts to a different position. We'll continue to meet those goalposts and do whatever they say. But again, every time we do what they're telling us to do, they tell us to do something different. It's at this point, it's outrageous. And I'm sure you're going to go into executive session anyway, and you're going to hear their side of it. Good luck. We have documents, we have everything ready to go for when it needs to come out. But just to let you guys know, that issue still continues. Every resolution that comes out of a work group, of an MPP, of a grievance hearing, of a step 3, we meet the requests that are put forward, and then those requests change.
That's when the goal pencil.
Correct. We'll reach whatever they tell us to reach for, we'll grab it and then they move it. It should also note those grievances listed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 grievances listed for this one person. That's $200 per grievance to make it to the state. I believe 99% sure all 3 or all 5 of those are at the state level. So at a minimum, it's $1,000 paid by the town, plus their attorney's fees, plus whatever other fees they incur, to continue to not allow our members to come back to work. So, and again, our opposition to executive session, just to put that on the record. And that's all for 1426.
I have one question.
Fire away.
No, and it's just, so the MPP and the 5 grievances all have to do with the same individual?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
So I wasn't here at that meeting. This is not from anything that we're.
I understand it's not disciplinary or anything.
It's disciplinary from us.
Correct.
Right, we just.
We heard some pretty, we heard one side, we heard
Correct.
your side, and it was very disconcerting, and it did not, it really did not reflect well on the town, but that was one side.
No, and we understand that absolutely. And again, they're here, you're probably gonna do it anyway. It's just our opposition is on the record.
I'd like to hear the town side, because we understand there's at least 2 sides to every story.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, point of order. Caitlin Prayer is on the line right now, and she is saying she wants this discussion in public session, not executive session.
Well, I think that would be entirely within her rights if we were going to vote to go into executive session for a personnel matter, but we're not. We're going to go into executive session to hear about pending litigation, and we're not, we don't.
That litigation directly affects a person that is being discussed and is an employee of the town, and we are again stating that that would be an illegal executive session meeting. Without her present, for you to talk about her, we've discussed everything that we've had to say. Every claim that we've made and backed up has been done in public session. To allow the town to go into private session where they can't be refuted is unfair, and we believe a violation of state law for Freedom of Information Act. I don't think you can go into that executive session.
Okay, well, I disagree because we are going into executive session to hear about pending litigation. We are not going into executive session with the idea of making any any hearing personnel matters and coming out and making any personnel decisions.
That pending litigation is about a workman's comp case, and that workman's comp person is available and says that if you're going to speak about them, that they want it done in public session.
And again, if this were a personnel matter, I think you would be absolutely right. But this is a pending litigation matter, which is a separate
on workman's comp.
Separate exception to or a separate reason to go into executive session. And we just want to get a sense of what.
Well, with all due respect, Commissioner, I don't know how you're getting a fair representation without the other party being present to discuss what's being said.
We heard your presentation and you chose to bring it up in public session, which was your right. And I'm not.
Well, we don't hide. You're correct.
I'm not criticizing you for that.
No, I would assume you'd be complimentary of someone who doesn't have to hide.
Point of information, this is firefighter Pereira here. I have my attorney here, and he states per Connecticut General State Statute 1-2006A that this cannot be discussed in executive session regardless of it's related to litigation or a personnel matter unless I deem it to be appropriate, and it's not. I want this on the record. I want this spoken about in public session from here moving forward. If there's any questions about that, I have my attorney here. I think a lot of people are familiar with this attorney. He represents the union. He would be happy to have a conversation about it.
Sure.
I just want to get a clarification because the first select person stated, and I don't know if everyone heard her, that our town attorney has made the opinion, is of the opinion that we should not discuss this in open session. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So make sure we all understand all our lawyers' positions on this.
Appreciate it.
And understood, Commissioner DeWitt. I'm just saying what my attorney is telling me. And if you go into executive session and it is deemed an illegal session, when there are depositions related to this, those sorts of details are going to tell a story. And the story is that we have been public and happy to share details, including about my physical and mental health on the record. And that the only way the town is willing to speak about this even if it's not about a personnel issue, quote unquote, it's not about the fine print, it's about the litigation, which has to do with me. I am stating to you, I do not want that done in private just because the town wants to do it in private. I am not giving that okay. And the commission, all due respect, told me last meeting that we were going to be having this conversation in August. And I'm not even there in the room.
I think that's a misunderstanding. We didn't say that because we were planning. Truth be told, the fire department likes that July and August off from these meetings, and we said we were gonna meet in July. And there's no way in heck you're gonna find Mike Finner in this room in August. I'm the jerk that brought us all in for July.
Commissioner, you might want to go back to the tape because we had a long discussion about that where I said we probably have to move it to September, and you said, no, we're gonna meet in August. That's all on recorded. You can read that. We made it clear and that you were going to move this back to August.
Yeah, I listen. I didn't listen to the tape, Lieutenant Tuttle. But I just know my own mind. Like,
okay, the tape's there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I
I don't want to be here in August either.
Yeah, I think he.
But
we discussed that. That came up as part of the discussion about moving it from July, because I was the one who suggested September.
Right. Or August 8th.
And then they said August because we're so busy, we will be there in August.
No, that was July. Did you listen to the?
No, it was not. Okay, I mean, we can all watch the tape at some point.
Okay, I said that.
I suspect that
would be the 13th.
That if we refuse to do this in executive session, that the town administration may take it different, may refuse to do that. And acting on the advice of the town attorney and may just not give us their side. So then we won't be able to at least listen to their side and at least challenge it based on what we know from what you told us earlier.
If you make a motion to go into executive session, I will call for a voice vote. I will ask that it be recorded for the minutes as to who voted to go into executive session, and that will be on the record. I am repeating to you, I can read it to you. I don't want to waste people's time. It's a Thursday night in the summer. Nobody wants to be here having this conversation. I am just asking for the opportunity to be in the space, especially after that was part of the conversation. And this isn't about sides. This is about what's true and what's not. I have so many documents to present to people. I'm happy to do so if the town is going to take the stance that they believe it's acceptable to go into executive session and have these conversations about me without me there.
Commissioner Alsaki?
Again, I was at last month's meeting when all of this was discussed. And I did not think we were going to discuss it at this month's meeting. And was quite surprised when I saw it in our package that this was here. I'm like, oh, what happened? How did this get moved up? Okay, I'll find out tonight. But I was under the impression that we were not going to do this until a later date. So that's just what my impression was. So, one voice in the room.
I'll lend my 2 cents. There was a discussion about July and August sessions. I think I made the statement. I said, well, why wouldn't we meet in August? And my German friend said, oh, look, the rookie wants to meet in August. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay to meet anytime. So just kidding around, right? I don't remember there ever being a specific conversation about the August conversation. But my second point is this: if we table this right now and we say, let's meet in August, I have a feeling the town's position is not going to change in the next 30 days. And we, much to my commissioner to the right's point, we still won't have the town's position if we move it to August.
We have been given legal counsel, being this is something that is being litigated right now between the two parties, that it wouldn't be appropriate for the two parties to be discussing this in open public session together. We are here because we were invited by you. Whatever you decide to do, we were not pushing for this.
This was here on our request. That's 100%.
I just want that for the record. If you choose not to discuss this, we will just let it play out as it's scheduled to play out.
But I mean, to be fair, we did invite all of you here.
We appreciate being here, because we
Right.
got also the payroll discussed somewhat, so I don't feel it was a total waste of time.
Right.
But
I mean, I don't think we invited you here with the presumption that it was going to be an executive session or not, frankly.
Well,
we always discuss personal matters in executive session. So that's always is a is a tough word. It's every time I've been in this room, we discuss personal matters in executive session.
And never without the person in the room. Never.
That's not true. No, we talk. No, you represent your firefighters mostly without them in the room, and that's okay. Like that, it's not. I'm not saying as a challenge.
No, but I get their. I can't do that without their permission. I get their permission. If they said no, I can't go in there and talk about them. Anytime I come in there to talk about my firefighters, it's because I've been approved to be their representative in there, and no one in that room has been approved to be Caitlin's representative. So that's, although it's true, yes, they haven't been there. We've discussed personnel matters. I get their permission long before I get in there to be their representative.
The attempt of the fire, and I'm going to speak for us, but because Commissioner Burke put this forward as a concern based on what you shared with us in May. And I wasn't here for that. I'm not trying to dodge it because I wasn't here. And I believe Commissioner Burke was like, well, we should hear this in executive session because this is concerning to us. Because we try and act, Lieutenant Tuttle, can you let the commissioners finish their sentences? Is that okay? Because you cut off Commissioner Burke multiple times, and we're not trying to be confrontational. ever. We're trying to put out what we know and trying to gain further understanding. So I would like to be allowed to complete my sentences. That being said, Commissioner Burke, and you can change my statement, basically through great concern because of our care for the fire department and our care for the union specifically, said we should hear more about this. And so we go back to the tape and say, if I said August, I'll bet you $1 I didn't, but that's okay. I could be wrong. I've been known to make mistakes in the past, right? We are concerned from this commission is to hear out what's going on. So we want to have greater understanding, right? To know what's going on, right? We've heard, I wasn't here, but we heard you represent your side very well, as you always do, and we appreciate that, right? But we have no clarity from the town side, right? And we find that in the past, we do a pretty darn good job of alleviating friction between the department sometimes and the union and the town. Because our main concern is the best fire services we can have at the best economical cost with a keen eye to the safety and benefit of the fire employees. I think we got a pretty good track record there, right? And even tonight with really taking on the cause of payroll, which Mark was doing a great job of. We voiced our concern, and we're always ready to write a letter on behalf where we really think we can help the union and the fire department smooth things down. So that being said, we would like to hear from the town's point of view what's going on, not to make a decision or anything, but just to get greater clarity. But if the union feels that that is draconian and so terrible that we can't be trusted to hear that, to the point where there's veiled things about vote counts, and I don't even know what that means, right? I don't want to create that type of environment, but I give that to my commissioners to react to my statement.
Okay. First of all, Commissioner, I apologize. Without being in the room, it's hard to see when you stop talking. So when I hear a pause, when I hear a pause, I assume that means that you had stopped talking. So for that, I apologize. Without visuals, it's very difficult to do that. I have no problem with you hearing the town out. What I'm saying is that to hear them out, everything that I said is recorded and you can hear it on record for everybody. I didn't ask you to go into a special room where I told you a story where no one is there to rebut it. And that's what the town's asking to do. They want to go in and tell you a story where, other than what I said, you don't know. So you walk away with well, they said this and they said that. What I'm saying is, say it out loud. They don't want to be recorded because they have litigation and they don't want their stories to not match up. So what I'm saying is, my story, because it's the truth, I'll say anywhere that we want to say it. So I would ask, as the commission, why don't they want to speak in public? And their lawyer telling them not to speak in public is just for that reason, is that under a deposition, if these words don't match those words, you're in trouble. The first thing when we went into the MPP that the town's attorney said is, you're not recording this, right? Because they're nervous about what story they tell and who they tell it to. So if they have nothing to hide, Caitlin just said she has nothing to hide. Put it in public session. My guess is they're not going to do that.
Lieutenant, thank you for that statement, clarity, and you don't need to apologize. We love our working relationship with you. So, Caitlin, I think firefighter Pereira has her hand raised.
Yes, thank you. Out of curiosity, I'm wondering what litigation would be discussed in executive session. What case are they specifically speaking of?
It's listed on the agenda. We wanted to be very transparent.
So on the agenda, it says, motion to go in executive session, invite first select person Christine Vitale, Director of Human Resources Regina Williams, Risk Manager Joseph Barbera, and Employee and Labor Relations Manager Joanne Cordamanche to discuss pending claims, pending litigation, State Board of Labor Relations complaint case MPP-35888. grievances 26-008, 26-015, 26-016, 26-017, 26-027.
Okay, and just for the record here, the only litigation that exists outside of the grievances is what's happening between workers' compensation attorneys. There's no other litigation that has been brought forward by anybody on my team. So I just want to make it clear that especially if this is going to be tied back to workers' compensation, what has been happening at my doctor's appointments, at my physical therapy appointments, at any of my mental health appointments.
Your audio cut out. Can you repeat?
Sure.
The last thing we got was at my doctor's office, and then we lost after that.
Sure. So the only litigation outside of the grievance that exists is what is related for my injury on September 25th, which is currently with workers' compensation. So I just want to make it clear that anything that's going to be discussed related to my doctor's appointments, my physical therapy appointments, to any mental health appointments, to anything that the town has asked for records for me, things that happened related to this injury, as well as previous to this injury. I just want to put it out there that if those things are going to be a part of that conversation, I don't think we're just flirting with the state statute, but I would have HIPAA concerns there as well. And again, as far as I'm concerned, I would also be very happy to have whatever conversations need to be had. Everybody knows what's happening with me. It's everywhere. There's been a lot of people involved in these conversations, but I think it's only fair that I'm the one to talk about those. The town has been getting notes, doctor's notes, from appointments I've had and using them against me and things that they've been writing. And these are copied to so many people. So if we're going to talk about what's happening with my physical and mental health based on my medical records, I just really would expect that I would be able to be in that space, to be the one to present those details. That's not only my story to tell, it is related to my health.
Thank you, firefighter Pereira. First off, we don't know what the town's gonna talk about if we go into public executive session one. But I wanna add on to what the chairman said, and maybe give a different perspective. We came about this after an open session. We were very concerned, especially Commissioner Burke showed concern and said, we're concerned about this, to the point where we said we really want to need the town here to speak about this. I'll add, I didn't maybe say it on the record, but I'll add right now that I am also very concerned about everything that's going on. But what would you recommend if we can't hear the town's side? It's a one-sided conversation. We're really trying to understand both aspects of it. What's the old adage? There's three truths, your truth, my truth, and the real truth, right? I mean, unless you hear both sides, I don't know how we're supposed to move forward. And I feel personally, not having this information does not benefit our commission at all.
So I think the issue that they're presenting, they're fine with the town presenting their side. Obviously, we want you to have both sides to have an informed opinion. Yeah. We're not expecting you guys to say, 1426 and the town sucks. That's not what we want at all. I think the issue is the executive session.
Oh, yeah.
Caitlin has offered to have the town make their statements public in the public meeting. And again, with the town's council, right, wrong, or indifferent, whatever, I imagine that they're not going to be agreeable to that. 1426 has the issue of why wouldn't they present things public, but that's fine. Council, I'm certainly not a lawyer. cool. I don't know what I'm doing with the law. I know how to follow it, but barely. Ask the traffic cameras. But I think the point here is that I think it's in the town's lap to either do this in public session or to not do it. And I think that's the point that Caitlin and Bill are trying to make.
Yep.
And again, we want you to be informed, understanding there's two sides to every coin. That's the way things go. It's how it should go.
Part of it is we're not so much, we can't make the decision on the
Right.
merits of this litigation. We were concerned as to why the town was defending itself this way. Which, didn't, at least based on the way the President Tuttle recounted it, did not seem like the best way to defend itself. And, we sit up here, we don't have any workers' comp jurisdiction, but several of us have actual experience with workers' comp. And that didn't help us understand what the town was doing. So we're less interested in the medical condition specifically, and more just why was this approach taken, and were certain steps taken to select someone?
And another solution could be Bill and Caitlin sit through executive session.
They're invited to it.
No.
They're not. The town doesn't want them.
The town is shaking their head in the negative.
I would say, I would then. Whenever we've had executive session, we've had both parties there because it's executive session, right? I mean, you've got longer experience than I do, Zaki, but.
Yeah. The person, if you're discussing a person or a person's condition, then they've always been there. If you're talking about a position and not necessarily a person that's in that position, you don't have to have the person there.
See, I think if it's a personnel matter, then you have to have the person there. It's their right to be there. But if it's not for personnel matters, if it's just for litigation, I don't think you have to have the person in there. But that's my understanding of the law, and I think that's consistent with the town attorney's presentation of how the motion should read. But
my hand.
Is the town, I'm trying to broker a deal here, so excuse me if I.
We don't need to broker a deal, and I respect Ms. Pereira. We can leave. And this is not something that the commission litigates. This is something that is a town, a management issue.
Right.
We don't want to escalate it.
Right.
Bad feelings any further.
Right.
So,
All right, so.
we will just let the process play out as it's playing out. And
So.
And I guess that would imply to me as a commissioner that we have no further role in this. Right?
Yes.
It's not.
I mean, I don't know how else to interpret it. And this is, again, I'm just gonna speak for myself. I mean, to have an opinion on this, I'd have to hear both sides. And what I was going to say, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, say broker a deal, but if the town was willing to say in open forum, something along the lines like, we're not gonna discuss your mental state or your health state, we're just talking about the high level legal stuff, if you will. Would that make everyone feel better? No?
I would prefer to pull up on this, because.
Okay.
Just hearing
I defer to the
firefighter
chairman.
Pereira talk about her mental state and her anguish, I'm not pulling on that thread, right? Like
Okay.
we all live in a world where the world grinds you down, regardless of whether you're a firefighter or you're sitting at a desk. And I think we all need to understand each other's needs and feelings and mental state. We're all forced to go to classes on that, right? And it's real and it's meaningful. And, you know, I'm not gonna do that. So, out of respect for the firefighters, as a whole, so it's gonna be out, we're not gonna do that. We've seen one suffer from mental illness, in the last 6 months. So, we are trying to help, we are not trying to harm. And I feel like we're stepping into the world where we can do harm here, trying to do good, and we're all adults and we can pull up. I would make the motion to pull up and not follow through on this, but I don't want to speak for my fellow commissioners.
Well, that would be item 7. We're still on 1426.
Yeah, we'll get
So
there.
We can get to that.
We still got both, we still got both these groups in the room, Joe, so we don't have to let them go necessarily there. We handle payroll. Is there any other major things like that we could maybe? Okay, so I feel like we've done work tonight on July 9th, right? So, that's okay.
I'm good. I'm happy.
I'll defer to the chairman's ruling.
So is 1426 done with their presentation to us?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, anybody want to cover donations?
There's one donation in the package, from a Morris Messenger of $100 with a note, and there was also some other notes in the package that we had, letters and stuff from different town residents and from staff.
Is there a motion to accept?
I make the motion. Oh, go ahead. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just I'll put out one note, former Commissioner Susan Barrett pulled me aside before the 9 o'clock mass at St. Pius and said in the middle of the night, she was dealing with this and how the fire department could not have been better or more gracious or made her feel safer. So it's all written here in the letter, but I heard it from her at 8:30 in the morning, which is wonderful to hear. She's a proud former commissioner of the fire department. Can't say enough about all of you men and women that protect us every day. Any other piece of literature that I'm missing that are important to you guys?
We're on communications now?
Just, you know, donations kind of covers that too.
Okay, sure.
Any old business? There's an old business we're gonna probably bring up in September. We'll take it to then. Any new business? New business. Commissioner DeWitt.
So, I'm proud to announce that the American Legion State of Connecticut is going to this Saturday award the Fairfield Fire Department, the Fire Department of the Year.
Really?
Yes. I will be there in my other capacity.
Sure.
And I invite any commissioners who'd like to come.
When is this?
It's at, have to be there at 8:45 on Saturday morning at the
This Saturday.
Trumbull- Yes, at the Trumbull Marriott. I believe our first select person will be there with
You'll
us.
be there?
I will be.
Terrific.
Feel free to sit with post 143. We'll be glad to have you.
Yeah.
And just as a side note, make you maybe want to even come in even more. Happy to announce that the American Legion of the State of Connecticut has also awarded the Fairfield Police Department the Police Department of the Year.
Deserve some kudos too.
They certainly do, and we're very proud of them.
The way that the emergency services work in joint in this town is, I don't think people realize in other towns it doesn't work this well. So thank you for all of that. All right, so if somebody can make a motion, well, we're just not gonna do that, right? It's on the agenda, so do I have to say we're not gonna do that publicly?
It's not gonna move it forward.
You don't move it forward, right?
We don't forward.
So.
Hey.
Where's he?
We're down on the page.
Public comment.
Yeah.
Anybody in the general public that has any? Going once?
Well, anybody online or?
Yeah,
No.
anybody on Zoom?
I don't see any hands going up.
Any? Going once? All right, to hear, consider and act upon any other business which shall properly come before this meeting.
I got nothing.
I got nothing. Okay. Well, I thought we were still seeing if there was any other business. No other business? All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.